Even after the Anyeongbok incident, Japanese fishermen continued to cross the East Sea into Ulleungdo and Dokdo. Worried about losing sovereignty over the islands, Joseon officially declared Dokdo to be a part of its territory in 1900 through the Imperial Edict No. 41. This document explains that Ulleungdo, Jukdo, and Seokdo, or Dokdo, are part of Uldo County. The edict calls the island Seokdo, meaning Rock Island. However, Koreans that lived in Jeolla province call the island Dokdo because Tok is the way that people in the Jeolla province pronounce the Korean word for rock. That is why in 1906, the Imperial Edict No. 41 changed Seokdo to Dokdo. Japan annexed the islets 4 years later in 1904. When the Russo-Japanese War ended, they added Dokdo in the peace treaty as a part of their land, naming it Takeshima. Japan claimed that the island was terra nullius. Terra nullius is land that has been legally deemed as unoccupied or uninhabited, therefore belonging to no country. They used this excuse to illegally occupy the islets. Joseon learned of this annexation 2 years later in March of 1906, when the Uldo County magistrate named Shim Hong-taek learned of this occupation. He alerted Lee Mong-rae, the governor of Gangwon province. Lee then reported the situation to the central government, who ended up releasing Directive No. 3, which countered the claim that Dokdo was Japan's, but the issue was never taken up on the international stage. In 1910, the Korean peninsula was colonized by Japan. For 35 years, Koreans fought hard against Japanese rule. At the surrender of Japan to the Allied powers in 1945, Korea was finally liberated. When the Japanese surrendered, they were forced to give up all the land that they had taken unfairly. Skapin 677, an order by the Allied powers, explicitly stated that Dokdo is excluded from the list of islands that belonged to Japan. Another directive, Skapin 1033, also prohibited Japan from going 12 miles near Dokdo. And the Treaty of San Francisco stated that Japan, recognizing the independence of Korea, renounces all right, title, and claim to Korea, including the islands of Quelpart, Port Hamilton, and Daglett. Japan claims that because Dokdo was not explicitly stated in the Treaty of San Francisco as a part of Korea, it still belonged to Japan. However, the treaty does not include the island of Ulleungdo, and it is recognized by the Japanese as Korean territory. Furthermore, the Cairo Declaration that President Franklin D. Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and General Chiang Kai-shek signed in November of 1943 stated that they would fight a war in order to return all the land that Japan had taken by violence and greed. Dokdo was unfairly annexed by Japan with the excuse of terra nullius, when Korea had officially declared it to be a part of its territory 4 years prior, and it needs to be recognized by Japan that Dokdo is a part of Korea's land. Due to Japan's claims and fierce lobbying throughout the world, many maps have mistakenly called the islet Takeshima, or stay neutral by claiming neither side, by calling them the Liancourt Rocks, or calling a designated name depending on where you lived. However, Japan's legal action of annexing the islet and the terms of the Treaty of San Francisco make it clear that Dokdo is a part of Korea. Until Dokdo is recognized by the world as Korean territory, the Korean government and people will continue to spread the truth to the globe. Dokdo is our land.